What? It's a bad start, man. This is so rocky.
Good. Oh, this is good. We're good.
What's up, everybody? It's Dirty and
DZAN. What is going on? Listen, it's episode 27.
This is my impression of DZAN.
We're a little. That's good. No, that's really good.
That's good, huh?
Really good. Yeah, that is good. DZAN, and today is Wednesday,
No, you gotta
November
do it like this.
17th.
You gotta
But
push
for
it out.
you,
DZAN.
but for you, it's Friday, November 19th. Ladies and gentlemen, a little bit of a rocky start. We haven't been with you in the past 2 wees. It's been difficult.
Let me take over here just for 1 second, just to address some of my patrons, because I know I have been inundated, and for those of you that don't know, things have been really, really rough. Okay, with my health, and I'm not going to get into it because there's information I don't want out there, but I had a really rough weekend, and I have, without question, the absolute most loyal, friendliest, most loving patrons on planet Earth. That's a fact. I can't tell you how many, and that's why I'm doing this here, because I can't tell you how many people reached out. And it's countless. It's dozens and dozens of people. And I can't thank you guys enough. I wish I could respond to everybody. And so I guess that's what I'm doing. And I also wanted to update you to let you know I took a new medication Friday or Saturday. And it is working so much better. It's not perfect, but life has changed dramatically for me over the past week. And not past week, I guess past few days. It feels like a week because it's just been so nice. Yeah, I'm going every 3 to 4 hours now instead of every hour or less in some cases. So again, thank you for indulging me during this. To everybody else that has no idea what the hell I'm talking about, thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. I can't thank you enough.
All right. I love it. I'm glad you're feeling much better.
If you guys are wondering why it is that I run out sometimes, that's why. For those of you that don't know, DZAN knows.
Want a little look behind the curtain. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a puke session. So.
Let's not waste any more pukey time. Let's get into football, Dirty D. We missed a couple weeks, week 9 and week 10.
What is happening?
Can I just say
in my life? Okay, please. We got time for that, but we got to be serious here, because I have never in my life have I seen, and I've watched, I'm a lot older than a lot of you guys. I've seen a lot of football in my life. Nothing remotely like this season. It's mind-boggling.
It's a very weird season.
It is so weird. Everything seems ass backwards. I'm hitting parlays that I have no business hitting. I'm losing parlays I have no business losing.
No, exactly. Yeah.
I have never seen. This is remarkable. And I think, I don't think people, because we're kind of living in it right now. I think 2 or 3 years from now, when we look back in this season, we're going to be like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
I mean, Kansas City, and granted, it seems like the momentum is moving a little bit, maybe.
Right.
Do we really know that for sure? It's really one game.
We're going to find out this Sunday.
And then you've got the Browns.
The Browns beating the Bengals like a motherfucker in week 9. And then immediately after getting absolutely slaughtered by the Patriots, 45-7. You're absolutely right. What a crazy fucking season. Let me talk about my boys. Week 9, we had the worst performance against the Broncos. And then we had our greatest performance since 1971 last Sunday and slaughtered the Falcons 43-3. I mean, it was decimation on a new level. So
we got to keep it real here. We got to talk about the New England Patriots.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, Cleveland didn't look good, and Baker looked terrible. I don't know where this love for Baker Mayfield comes from. Granted, I know I'm a Steelers fan. I don't know where it comes from. He's not good. He's not. When you watch the ball come out of his hands are too small, in my opinion. First of all. Second of all, the ball comes out so goofy.
I was just going to say it's awkward. It's an awkward release. Yeah.
And then, if he's pissed off, he plays really well. If he's expected to win, he gets his ass blown away. And the Los Angeles Chargers, what's happening there? What happened to the fucking Buccaneers last week?
Yeah.
This is absolutely mind-boggling.
Yeah, it is a bass-ackwards season for sure. This coming Sunday, we have a lot of shit to look forward to. Like I said, Cowboys versus the Chiefs. That's going to be a really good matchup against there. We'll see if another crazy thing happens this Sunday against the Falcons and Patriots. That's us. The Kansas City Chiefs have Cowboys. Yeah. So the Cowboys are going to be
when is that on?
2:25, baby. Well, my time, your time, 4:25. Yeah, 4:25. Okay. So they're the mid game. They're the mid game for you. Yeah.
Where's that at?
Let's see. They're going to be I believe they're going to be at KC.
Okay. Which team is last?
Yeah, they're at Kansas City. Okay. It's Kansas City. Yeah.
All right. So and then I think the Browns may have a bye. I'm not sure.
The Browns are going up against the Lions.
Oh, that's right. And Lions.
Poor Lions. They finally got a tie.
Yeah, finally got the Steelers.
That's right. I am so sorry, Dirty. I didn't mean to line you up on that one. I'm sorry.
No, I can't believe we ended up walking out of there with tie with Mason Rudolph as our quarterback. TJ Watt probably out.
Oh, yeah.
Mika Fitzpatrick out.
Yep.
Well, obviously Tyson Alu is out for the season. Ben 50-50 as of right now. Najee Harris 50-50 with an ankle.
50-50.
Joe Hayden probably out because he's in a boot.
Jeez, man.
And Mika has COVID. Ben's got COVID. And there's somebody else too, another defender. So
I can't believe how many. That's a lot of fucking players.
It's a lot of players. It's every best player at his position.
Right. It's like all first.
So you got Najee Harris,
starters,
basically our only running back worth talking about. And then you've got wide receiver Chase Claypool out. Deontay Johnson most likely will play, but it's going to be interesting, and that's a Sunday night game.
Yeah. Well, hey, Sunday morning. Sunday is just going to be fucking amazing. Saints and Eagles in the morning. That's going to be a really fucking good game because again, two teams that have been really kind of up in the air with how good they've been, how ass sucking they've been. Sorry.
Facts.
Yeah. But yeah. So it's a very unpredictable season. We love football, but we don't get a whole lot of unpredictability in football.
Hey, I don't care if it weren't for this. I want to know. I want to have an idea of what I'm betting on. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'll be honest with you, just keeping it real. I've been strictly hockey, almost. Well, I wouldn't say strictly, but very little football.
It's been the main thing. Yeah.
Because it's a little easier for me to see the layout. You know.
Right. I know we missed a couple episodes, ladies and gentlemen. So that's it for football.
And we're really sorry about that. Yeah, we didn't discuss that, but
so let's go into that real quick because it was definitely my fault last week. So DZAN got a new job.
Not his fault, but yeah.
So I got a new job, so totally new schedule. Last week couldn't make it happen, but the new schedule is it's much more consistent, and we're going to be able to do this for you guys every week.
I got to tell you guys, I'm very excited for DZAN. He's starting on a new path, and I think knowing him the way I know him, I think he'll succeed at this very well. We won't get into that, but so it was DZAN last week, but it's primarily been kind of my health, you guys, and that's kind of driving the engine here. But with DZAN having Wednesdays off, that should provide a lot more consistencies,
right? Along
with my meds,
right? So we're all getting on track here, ladies and gentlemen. Expect more consistent content, and with a little bit more of a consistent schedule, I'll be able to start working on those side videos for our beautiful channel and our beautiful people as well. All right, before we get into MMA topics,
and he and I are both working on music too. As a matter of fact, we are working on another song together, if you aren't aware yet. So we're excited about that. We did.
He's working on a project.
If you don't know, yeah, we both are. Yeah. But if you don't know, you're not aware, we did a song before, and it's called Ode to Tupac Shakur. Put it on YouTube, Spotify, whatever. You'll find it.
Yep.
We had a lot of fun with that.
Do not forget to like this video, subscribe if you guys are new, and let's move in to some MMA topics. We will quickly go over UFC 267. I know it sounds like yesterday's trash.
I have a very musical studio, and I have no bell. I was just thinking, man, if I could ding a bell. Anyway, sorry.
I like that. You need to invest. Maybe a cowbell.
That's how my mind works. It's always music.
Get a cowbell. So let's quickly go over UFC 267. We had Magomed Ankalaev getting a very kind of, needless to say, boring decision win against Ozdemir. I thought it was going to be a little bit more competitive there.
I did too.
Speaking of non-competitive bouts, our boy Khamzat Chimaev picking up Li Jingliang, telling Dana, get off your phone, slamming him down, and then being the first to finish Li Jingliang. I mean, what else can you say about this guy? We're going to be getting into Khamzat a lot more during this podcast. Mainly in MMA topics, it's going to be a lot of Twitter beef, ladies and gentlemen.
I got to keep it real, you guys. We're kind of fanboys. So,
big. Yeah, big. And now, I mean,
there's going to be a lot of Khamzat talk.
A lot of Khamzat talk, especially now that I know that him and my numero uno GOAT are best friends. So we'll get into that in a little bit, but
they're best friends.
Homies. We're homies. All right. Islam Makhachev, we're also going to be talking about later on today, beating Dan Hooker submission in round one. Dominant performance. We knew that was going to
see round one.
I didn't see round one. I thought, but domination, man. Domination. And we knew that Dan Hooker was going to lose. We just didn't know how. And that speaks to how dominant Islam Makhachev is. There's a
video out there. Way off topic. There's a video out there that a lot of people have seen. It's got literally probably 10, 12 million views on it or something, but it's Pantera's domination. Watch the crowd in that video, and that's what happened to Dan Hooker.
Okay, I got to go back. That's a very specific inside joke. Yeah, I like it. Okay. Peter Yan versus Corey San Hagen gets that decision victory win, but a very, I want to say not competitive, but
hang on. I gotta fix him real quick, you guys, because DZAN isn't in the know on this. It's like the number one reaction video by hip hop heads that listen to metal.
Oh, okay.
Pantera's domination.
Okay.
It's the live version, and it's the number one reacted video. That and Megadeth Holy Wars, for whatever reason.
You have me writing shit down now.
Yeah. Every one of those channels did Pantera's domination. for whatever reason. It's not even near their best song. It's actually one of my least favorite songs from
Is
Pantera.
it the shock value? I mean, what the fuck? Is it just because it's so different?
It's just so heavy.
Yeah,
and
that's
the crowd, the feedback between, that's really what it boils down to, is the feedback between the crowd and the band. It's just like they're one, and it's just chaos in the crowd. Absolute chaos. And they're literally probably 60, 80,000 people there. And it's just nuts, man. And it's when Pantera was right at the peak of their thing and everything.
Popularity and shit. I'll be checking that out for sure. Petr Yan, let's fix him. Let's bring him back. Petr Yan, man, the real champ. I love how Aljamain Sterling, look, Petr Yan made the pound for pound men's list.
Yeah.
And Aljamain's like, what the fuck?
No. Aljamain, not what the fuck. It's what everybody's thinking.
Oh, I fucking love it. And I love how he called him a fake champ. Like, really? Okay, Aljo. Jan Blachowicz, talk about not seeing something coming. Jan Blachowicz gets defeated by Glover Teixeira in a second round submission.
I'm so glad we're talking about this, because we have to talk about
that
this.
If you fucking went with Glover second round submission,
I'm going to tell you right now, I truly believe from the bottom of my heart, and if you don't believe me, if you think I'm crazy, go back and watch the fight with this in mind. Jan Blachowicz wanted out of that title. He didn't want to wear that belt anymore. He literally laid down for Teixeira to climb on top of him. If you watch it, watch his actions. He literally just lays down for him with almost nothing from Teixeira to create that. It was all Blachowicz, whatever. It was all him. I noticed it right away. And then I was talking to a friend of mine the next day. I was talking to him and I said, dude, I'm telling you, it looked to me like he wanted to be out of that cage before he stepped into it. And I said, watch him when he lays down. I said, he's doing all the work laying down. And if you go back and watch it, you'll see what I mean.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and
that was a bad look, man.
Now, are you saying that you think it's just a purely pressure thing, that he just doesn't want to be champion anymore? Do you think that he just took a dive?
Commitments.
Oh, gotcha.
I don't know. Or maybe just. Not everybody wants the spotlight. A lot of people think
ask Rose the first time.
Right.
That's how Rose felt the first time. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's like that in music. There's so many people I know that their dream was to, and then they get a taste of it and they're like, oh, I don't like this.
I'm gonna do what you did just now, and I'm gonna say something completely out of left field that kind of connects with that. Tom McDonald, who usually raps about political shit always, just released a song called Balloons, wherein he finally was talking more about personal. It is the Tom McDonald you've always wanted to hear. Stripped of all of that bullshit, politics, you get to hear the personal part of him and how he always wanted the fame and this shit, and how it helped his mental illnesses. But now he's realizing that it's the fame and everything that is making it worse. And so that ties directly into kind of what we're talking about here. But,
I, just to kind of dovetail off of that, there is a major problem that's happening, and it's been happening over the course of the past 4 or 5 years, especially. Especially in the United States. And what this is if you have a conservative viewpoint, obviously you're going to be shamed to death. That's just a reality. Okay. We can, and I come to you with an unblemished record, and DZAN can tell you that. Okay. my heart is always in the right place with stuff like this. Okay. But what I don't want to have happen, and it can't happen, because if it happens, you're climbing into extremely dangerous territory and you become a predator. But you can't shut people up. You can't stop people from talking. And you can't beat them up with every word that comes out of their mouth. Because all that's going to happen is you're going to make them retreat their words, but it doesn't retreat their mind.
Right.
That is a major miss that's happening in society right now, is that the only thing that's taken place right now is you're causing them to shut up.
Right.
You're not changing their minds.
Yeah.
So now you're just making them become more secretive.
Right.
I'm telling you, this is dangerous. This is a dangerous, dangerous thing that's happening with this cancer culture. And I did not misspeak. I referred to it as cancer culture because that's what it is. It's a fucking cancer. And people like Tom McDonald, you know, I don't agree with him with a lot of it. And I
don't agree with 98% of the things he says.
And I've talked about this in great detail.
Yeah.
I don't agree with them. But the last thing in the world we can do is tell him to shut your fucking mouth.
Right. Yeah. Right.
He's going to find another way.
Yep.
Don't shut people up. Let them talk, man. Let them bury themselves.
Yeah. Talk about burying themselves. Dana White wants to get Diaz to get buried by Khamzat for his last fight. I mean, it's obvious that Diaz, this is his last fight and that he wants out. And Dana, he likes to diminish, you know, the fighter's star power before they leave the UFC. So he's going to try and set this up. And Diaz, obviously not taking the bait, he said, nah, you're crazy. And then when Khamzat won his fight against Li Jingyuling and then called out Kamaru on Twitter, just said, hey, Kamaru, I'm coming for you, brother. I'm coming. Nate said, if he can beat Usman, I'll give him a shot. You gotta love Nate Diaz.
That's a shot caller, bitch.
You gotta love Nate Diaz.
if he can beat the champion,
then I'll give him a shot.
Fight him.
I fucking love it.
Ranked 14th.
Bilal's now, I think, or Bilal. Khamzat, I think is he just beat Lee, which is 11, so I think he's 10 now. I think Khamzat is going to be officially in the top 10. Bilal wants Khamzat next, but Bilal, I believe, is getting Stephen Thompson next in December 18th. But it seems like Gilbert Burns. Yes, December 18th.
That's a matchup.
That's going to be on the Derek Lewis fight. I forget who Derek Lewis is going to be fighting. I think Dawkins. They're
very similar.
Yeah, it's going to be good. But Khamzat's next,
and Bilal will stand up with Wonder Boy. Wonder Boy's going to. None of them are going to.
Yeah, Wonder Boy is definitely going to.
I love Bilal.
But
you know
they both have cardio for days, so it's going to be a great. And from what I understand, if they're going to be on December 18th, they have to be a co-main event because I know Derek Lewis is going to be on that card, so it's not going to be a 5-round fight like we would probably want it to look like. But still, a 3-round war between the two, I think is going to be really good.
I think a 3-round fight for that one would be
good. Seems like Gilbert Burns is going to be the next victim / opponent for Khamzat Chimaev. It's just in development. They're looking like January, but we'll see. But what?
I heard this.
You want to say something?
Well, I heard about this, and that doesn't excite me at all, man.
Why does that not excite you? Oh, that definitely excites me.
Really? You think it's a good matchup?
I think with this, he's going to.
I gotta be honest. I keep keeping it real, man. With Gilbert,
before Gilbert lost the last 2 fights which he had lost. Before that, he was on an absolute
I know he was, but again, we're talking about competition. I mean, once he gets towards the top, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I personally think it's the best name for him outside of Colby and Jorge. When you think about who's really inside of that top 10, that would be a great name for Hamzat and a good, level up. I think, Gilbert Burns.
No.
And he's fantastic on the ground.
Yeah, I agree with you. As far as the climb, 100%.
Oh, yeah. Oh, but you mean the actual matchup. You're just not filling the matchup. I see.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I say victim. I don't think.
Yeah. Well, that's okay. Fair enough. You did say that.
I don't think he's going to have a problem with it, but I do think it's a good level up for Hamzat. And I only have Hamzat's best interest at heart because let's talk about the respect between him and Conor.
Why don't we do that in 1 second?
So, Hamzat was on Twitter, posted a picture with him and Conor.
Talk to me.
Says, let's make this a big drama show at Notorious with the smiling, like drunk smiley face emoji, right?
Yeah, I saw that one.
Now, Conor said, brother, no problem. I appreciate you reaching out to the team in 2018 to come and help me beat up the little scared pigeon bitch. And then he said, fuck those Eagle MMA pussies. We are Akhmat MMA. Smash them up, we will. Let's go. The Mac and Akhmat. We take no shit. Never peace. Then Habib tweeted at Conor, fake respect out of fear. Hamzat then tweeted just at Conor and put a bunch of cry laughy emojis with a fist bump and a bunch of money symbols. I see that as some beautiful defiance, like laughing at Habib's tweet saying we're good, bunch of money emojis.
Right.
I love it. I fucking love it.
I do too, because we know we love it for different reasons. DZAN and I.
Yeah. Completely. I'm sure
he loves it because he's siding with Conor.
Yeah,
I love it because he is going up against Khabib when nobody thinks that's advisable.
Right.
We've seen Khabib and his people in action. We know what they're capable of, and comes at with his lip said, fuck you. I'm not falling to your flag.
Yep.
You don't own me. Because as we also know, there was a meeting between Mr. Chimaev and Mr. Nurmagomedov and his people, possibly mom.
Behind closed doors. It was just a behind closed doors meeting saying, hey, respect, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. As they're holding his throat. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I know we talked about Bilal Muhammad stepping in on December 18th with Stephen Thompson. Why is that, you asked? Anthony Smith was supposed to be actually headlining the December 18th against Alexander Rakic. He is out now due to injury, a staph infection. It's rumored that Alexander Rakic was actually going to be fighting Yuri Prohaska then as the #1 contender to face Glover for the fight for the title next. However, that came out just the day before the Jan Blachowicz fight. So now that Glover is the champion, I don't know if they're going to go straight up with Rakic versus, somebody else, or Yuri versus Glover for the belt. Rakic is pretty upset because he believes that Yuri shouldn't be allowed to skip over him for the belt, that he should either fight him for the #1 contender or that Rakic himself should get the title fight. He's not wrong. But I would love to see that fight. And I don't think that, to be honest, I think Yuri Prohaska is probably the scariest man in that division right now.
100%. 100%.
I don't see anybody stopping his climb to the belt. I really don't. Dominic Reyes, one of the most dominating fighters in that division, caught the nastiest elbows and was knocked the fuck out pretty handily by Yuri. And that's been kind of the story for Yuri Prohaska, this whole fucking exactly right. Like, ever since Yuri got into the UFC, it's been great highlight after great highlight. The man is so weirdly powerful, and it's nice to see that in the light heavyweight division. You got powerful guys, but Yuri, geez, man, He's got something different than Polish power. I'll tell you that. So
that he does.
I know we were talking a little bit about the diminishing star power that Dana White likes to kind of do. And, you know, they keep changing the men's pound for pound, you know, talk about diminishing power again. They knocked Jon Jones down again from 2 to 4. Kumar Usman now number 1, Alexander Volkanovski number 2, Israel number 4, or sorry, Israel number 3, John number 4. And John, you know, was saying, you know, for a guy that can't defend a takedown, you're putting him ahead of me. Right. Just get me off of your silly list is what he says, because this list isn't anything. Your thoughts, Dirty?
Well, I love Jon Jones.
I do too.
But I don't know, man. I think he's getting a little full of himself, quite frankly.
John, it's been 2 years, John. It's been 2 years. Yeah. Dear God, we have to move on. If you're not going to get in there, right, we have to move on. We can't keep you at number 1 if you're not.
Can't tie up a division.
You're not active.
This long. Right.
You're tying up the men's pound for pound. You said you don't want to tie up your division, so you left. Good. Well, you're not going to tie up the pound for pound list either. So right, you can't have your cake and eat it too, John. I love Jon Jones as well. If you guys don't know, he's no longer with Jackson Wink. He decided that he is no longer going back. However, he found his home in the original Jackson, you know, center with some of the fighters. I mean, I guess you can still say it's half Jackson Wink because it's some of the people that left Jackson Wink as well. And they're training in one of the original spots. And then, of course, John has been out in Arizona for the past week or so with Henry Cejudo doing a lot of training up there as well. So I think John's shopping around a lot, but for the most part, he says he wants to stay here in Albuquerque and just kind of bring the talent out, you know, out here to help train with him. So we'll see what's going on with that. Honestly,
and maybe the best thing for Jon Jones is to get the hell out of Albuquerque.
Maybe.
Yeah, and I mean that sincerely, because sometimes a change of scenery can, you know, because you don't have those same spots,
right?
You know, yeah. And we know Jon Jones loves his spots.
Yeah.
So it might not be a bad idea.
That wraps up all that shit right over there. Let's talk about UFC 268, which was the week after that. Before we get into the fights, I just want to mention the king type shit it was to see Francis Ngannou walk directly past. I don't know if you saw this, Dirty. There is a video with Francis Ngannou entering in, you know, the pay-per-view, and he totally walked past Cyril Gane and his team and just not even give him a look. Francis's team acknowledged them and were shaking hands, and he just kept walking like, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
That's some Bosch type shit. I like that. I like that a lot.
Well, we love Ngannou. So.
I had to say that. Listen, if Trevor Whitman doesn't get Coach of the Year, mistakes were made. This man is not only the best striking coach in the UFC, but holy shit, his 3 fighters have had some of the best runs this whole year. Sorry, Trevor Whitman, you the man. Because come on. Justin Gage, Rose Namajunas, come on.
You know, okay, let me say something here. There's this thing going on in the NHL right now, and I'm not going to talk about the NHL guys this week. We got too much stuff to get in, but there's a OV watch. Okay, Alexander Ovechkin is chasing Wayne Gretzky's all-time record, and each time he scores a goal, there's a big article about it.
Right.
You know, it's tiring. It gets old quick for me for whatever reason. And I got the same fatigue with Trevor Whitman.
I feel like you're afraid of greatness, Dirty. You really don't respect greatness too much. You don't like people to be great. You kind of just like great people to fail. And it must be hard to deal with on a day-to-day basis. But nevertheless, we will agree to disagree. How about we talk about the fight of the year? Can we talk about the fight of the year, Dirty D? Justin Gaethje versus Michael Chandler?
It was the fight of the year.
Son of a bitch.
It was the fight of the year.
We always have fights where we think it's going to be amazing.
We talked about this not that long ago. This happened not that long ago. And remember, I said, let's put the brakes. I mean, because I think it was like June or something like that. And I'm like,
right.
Yeah. We got a long way to go here, guys.
Right. Man, did it fucking deliver. And it delivered in
spades,
a big fucking way.
Yeah.
The heart of Michael Chandler, I just have to say, I mean, he won. He won. He lost, but he won. I mean, they both fucking won. That's how great of a fucking fight it was. There was no losers in that fight. When you have
Same
a
thing
fight
happened
like
with
that,
Dan Hooker and Max Holloway. Remember?
Exactly. You're absolutely right. It's almost like
the respect level for Dan Hooker went through the roof.
And
he lost that fight badly.
Yeah.
But he tough. I mean, you can't,
tough son of a bitch, and you
can't
get that.
Get any tougher. I mean, so people respect it. Your celebrity skyrockets, and
that's how Brian Ortega really got stepped up whenever he had that war with Max Holloway. I mean, it just what an amazing fucking war. Both of them won a fantastic fight, and we know for a fact that's not going to be the only time that those two are going to be fighting. We know that for a fact. Shane Burgos.
Dana won't. Yeah, we'll make sure of that. Yeah,
they're definitely going to fight again. Shane Burgos picking up a decision win. I did not see that coming, to be honest with you. I thought Billy was going to be able to dominate him on the ground, and I don't know. Billy just wasn't himself that night. I don't know what was going on. Shane Burgos put it on.
Could not disagree more. I fully anticipated Shane Burgos doing that.
Yeah. So Frankie Edgar, poor Frankie Edgar, is on another highlight reel in the wrong way. First, flying knee versus Corey San Hagen, and now this huge front kick, which
Did you see his face? Oh, he looked like a Simpson.
Oh fuck! It was mashed to the. It was horrible, dude.
He looked like not Homer. What's the mayor guy? Anyway, whatever the mayor guy.
Oh my god, Burns.
That's what he looked like.
Yeah.
Wow.
The motherfucking when it's a good pay-per-view when that is just a small footnote. Frankie Edgar getting knocked out with that kind of a kick.
Right on.
It was not even the highlight of the pay-per-view. The Shane Burgos and Billy Quarantino fight was a war, you know what I mean? But it wasn't respected because it came on right after Justin Gaethje and Michael Chandler. Frankie Edgar gets knocked out. It came right after Justin Gaethje. Like nothing was seen until Rose got on the stage. And then they were like finally reset and ready. That's how amazing that first fight was to kick off the pay-per-view.
I'm really curious, that picture that I was referring to, is that a picture or a still shot? Because if that was a picture, I don't know who the photographer was.
That's a still shot. That's a still shot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because man, that would have been an incredible picture, man.
The timing,
it was really high quality. That's why I asked, because a lot of times you can tell a still shot. That one was hard to tell, man.
Well, they now have
the UFC
they have these 8K cameras now inside on the bottoms for those replays. It's for those replays in particular.
UFC's production is ridiculous.
Well, they see how the PFL are, and let me tell you guys right now, if you guys don't watch the PFL, it's a much different MMA experience. It's they add kind of a football aspect to it where it's much more about playoffs, scoring, and you get into tiers with fighting. Nevertheless, their production is on another level. It's kind of incredible. They have the referees wear smart glasses where you can see. I mean, and then they have these cameras to where you don't actually see the cage. It's smart cameras to where it kind of blocks out the cage, so you see directly into the fight. I think that these other promotions are also having UFC step up their game, because when PFL started doing that shit, which is also partnered with ESPN, UFC generally, they know, well, we're leading, we have to step up our game as well. So they got those 8K cameras. Their fucking slow-mos are fantastic. I will say though, PFL is probably still, I would consider them number one when it comes to the production value while watching the fight. While watching the actual fight, it is incredible. It's incredible.
Let me rephrase that. I'm talking about the in-arena experience, because like when you go to a UFC event, they have things in the crowd too.
Okay. I see what you mean.
Like technology things.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
So that's really cool too. When we went to see, I forget what number it was. What number was it? 257?
257, 256.
Something like that.
It was one of those. Yeah.
The one in Jacksonville. Anyway, they have on the side, they have like these, a matter of fact, I got a picture of it where it's just their eyes. It's like a TV, but the TV is only, I don't know, probably
it's like super wide, right? Like ultra
tall,
wide.
but it's like 4 feet wide, and they're all around the cage and stuff. And it's got a picture of just the fighter's eyes. It's really cool, man. And it's got their name above it and stuff.
I think that was during the Usman Masvidal fight, right? Where he knocked him out, where he knocked out Masvidal. Yeah,
it was that one.
256, I think. Yeah.
Was it 250? Okay.
Man. Woo. Okay. Rose Namajunas did it again and did it emphatically against Weili Zhang. Man, she is the best. I know we didn't get to say our picks, ladies and gentlemen, but no cap at all. I would have gone with Rose 100%.
Oh, 100%. We both would have.
Yeah.
Only because of what happened last time.
You guys know.
Right.
We did talk about this.
The last time they fought. Oops, sorry. The last time they fought, I think DZAN took Rose and I took. Oh, that was the same one.
Yeah, that was the one where I took
Jacksonville is saying.
Yeah, that was. Oh yeah, that was that one. Yeah, that's so fucking funny. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, but then after that, after seeing that, I'm like, oh my God, man, Rose is just, we always talk about levels.
She's the best. She's the best.
But also the other thing I wanted to point out is Rose is another example of being at Subway or Speedway or Shell, whatever gas station you have in your part of the country, and seeing Rose Namajunas or seeing even like a Ben Askren or what's the one that looks like Ben Askren, the young kid?
Chase Hooper.
Chase Hooper. Yeah. You see these guys in public and you're like, get out of my way, you fucking nerd. Right, yes. I'm going to order. You're in my way. Get the fuck out.
Yep.
But then next thing you know, Dirty's nose is on the back of his head. So.
You're asleep. Yeah.
Yeah, with that arm thing,
beautiful.
The arm sticks out.
Yeah, you're just like, these unassuming fighters are one of the most lethal.
They're beautiful, man. They're beautiful to watch, man.
What a great fucking fight. And then, of course, we had the Kumar Usman versus Colby Covington, which this fight, to me, was not nearly as close. It was not nearly as close as the first one. It definitely delivered.
Oh, no, it wasn't as close.
When Covington got knocked down twice in that second round, he wasn't the same there on out. He wasn't. No. I think it's funny you said that because you and I've talked about this here before, where somewhere along the line you shifted and you're never the same fighter anymore. Oh, right. Yeah, we talked about this. Yeah.
You get broke.
Yep.
And I swear I saw that happen to Colby in that fight. Not the first fight.
Right. Yeah. No, not the first fight.
But that fight.
Yeah.
And boy, he immediately ran to go wanting to fight Jorge.
Oh, let's talk about that. Let's put
but hang on, before we get into that, I'm showing that mindset shift because he told himself at that point, I cannot beat this guy.
Yep, it's not happening. Yeah,
next.
It's not happening. Yep, I'm gonna go ahead and shift.
Seriously, think that's a real thing.
That's a really good point. No, you're 100% right. That's a really good point. Let's put on our foil hats on for a second, okay? During the post-fight press conference, Colby says, and I quote, okay, I'm going to quote him. I think the most logical step is the heated rivalry with me and old roommate Street Judas Masvidal. He should probably pull out of that fight with Leon Scott, and we should just run it. Now, he's talking about doing it in like January or February. 3 days later, Jorge Masvidal is out of his fight with Leon Edwards at UFC 269 due to an undisclosed injury.
When
you look into it, that's all I'm saying. Just look into it.
Very good point.
I'm not even a theory in my mind. I think that's 100% fact that Jorge's like, no, I'm not going to give this guy like a paid deal, especially when let's not forget, Leon Edwards is managed by Peridium Sport, i.e. Conor McGregor's whole thing. Okay. Leon is basically like a Paradigm. Sorry. Paradigm. He's like Conor's fighter, basically, when you think about it, his company's fighter. Jorge and Conor, no. And they've been getting into it. Jorge's like, I'm not giving your boy a pay, whatever it is. I think that's what's happening. He's not going to give him that $1 million payday that Leon Edwards so rightfully deserved. Jorge made me and my friend Dirty D get into a very heated fight for no fucking reason. That's what I want to say. Fuck you, Jorge. Fuck you.
Here's the thing, though. I'll never, ever be a fan of Leon. It's just not going to happen.
I know you won't. And to be honest, I got a really sour taste in my mouth when he tweeted. He said, I knew that Jorge wasn't going to want to fight. Oh, well, I'm just going to sit back and relax. Usman, I'll see you soon.
Mm-hmm.
That's not how you get a title fight.
Right. That's the mentality that has you sitting at your crib right now. That's the mentality that has you sitting at your crib right now. That you're not in Vegas right now. That's 100%. A problem. 100%. And that's why I'm not a fan. He's just, he seems to want to pick every single opponent.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work like that. And you're not the baddest man on the planet when you do that. When
Dirty,
you take that approach.
Me. I'm on your side.
Yeah.
Got it.
Izzy went up and fought Jan Blachowicz.
Yep.
At 205.
Yep.
205. 20 fucking pounds, man.
And
this wasn't going from 155 to 170. This wasn't going from 145 to 150. 185 to 205. Went in there and took an ass whooping, but he took it like a man. And that's gangster.
Yeah.
Khamzat Chimaev fighting twice in how many days? That's gangster. That's why Khamzat's followers and subscribers and everything under the sun skyrocketed. That's why nobody wants to watch Leon.
Yeah, you're right. Because look, Leon had plenty of opportunity to get his name back out there. If you would have seen how many people called out Leon, once Jorge said, I'm out of the fight, right. Khamzat, Gilbert Burns, Bilal Muhammad, everybody was like,
wasn't Nate even talking?
No, not Nate. Nick said, give me that fight.
Yeah.
I want revenge for my brother.
Right. That's right.
Are you kidding me? Leon had his pick of some fantastic fights. And if you really believe you're as good as you say you are, take the fucking fight.
That's what I'm saying. Dirty.
No, I know you are. 100% on your side.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
It's so frustrating.
Yeah, you can't get respect. You know, if I'm a producer of music, but I only produce doom metal, right? And that's all I produce. There's probably about 250 potential clients on planet Earth, right? If every one of them hired me, I'd have 250 gigs. What are the chances of that? What are the chances of one of them hiring me? But if I produce hip hop and I produce country and I can produce hard rock and metal and all of that, now we're talking about millions of people to draw from.
Yeah.
It's the same logic, Leon.
Yeah. No, you're right. And it's almost like wanting to wait out for the better fight, but that's not how you get it. And then another thing we don't respect is kind of like how we don't respect Sean O'Malley by you're active, but you're picking the easiest fights to the top. So there's two different ways that we don't like that shit as MMA. Okay.
Sean O'Malley, spot on. No, that's a great analogy there, because we both have talked ad nauseum since this channel began about Sean O'Malley not fighting a top fighter and allowing the UFC to keep him safe, because all he has to do is open his mouth and it's a fight that he's going to get. If he opened his mouth and said, hey, I want fucking Jose Aldo. Yeah. You don't think that's going to happen?
Yeah.
But never once did he do that. Never once.
Guess who did do that? Cheeto Vera.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But no, you're right.
And I love Cheeto, right. And Cheeto's a gangster. And by the way, since that fight, Cheeto's been a monster.
Exactly.
He made a I mean, thank you, Sean O'Malley, right? That's what Cheeto's got to be saying, right?
And notice how Sean O'Malley was talking about instantly wanting to get that win back until Cheeto started getting on the up and winning these fights. And then Sean, he's like, oh yeah, no.
No, he didn't lose that fight though.
Oh,
why would he get it back?
You're right. I'm sorry. He said that he wanted to fight him. He wanted to fight him again just to prove to everybody, right? That's what he was going on about. But then once Cheeto won that next fight, Sean was silent. Yeah, okay. Well, we'll move on. Mutano, where's Mutano at? Yeah. Okay.
Chris Mutano. Oh my God, what happened to that guy?
He's fighting soon. He's going to.
Is he really?
Next fight. Yeah, he's getting his next fight soon. So,
dude, covering that. The CTE has got to be just right at that precipice right now,
and he's
man.
So young, man. Okay. Let's talk about the drama in the 155-pound division. Now we're going to get into some Twitter beef, some Twitter war regarding Justin Gaethje's spot, Khabib's thoughts, and other things. So ESPN had retweeted Justin Gaethje, who says, "The travesty to the integrity of the sport would be too great if I did not get a title shot now." That's what Justin Gaethje says. ESPN retweeted. Khabib responds.
Wait. I'm sorry. Can you repeat that again?
Sure. So Justin said this, and I quote, "The travesty of the integrity of the sport would be too great if I didn't get a title shot now." Meaning that it'd be really bad for the sport if I don't get my title shot now. This is Gaethje saying that after the Chandler fight. Okay. Khabib responds. "In last 8 fights, you finished 3 times, Justin. You had an opportunity to become champion and you fell asleep. Islam is on 9 win streak, 3 fights in 2021 and all finishes. Just shut up and admit Islam deserves the title shot, not you." Justin responds, "Your boy has 2 and you want him to fight for the belt. My 3 losses are to a former champ, an interim champ, and the current champ. Islam beat number 14 and a late replacement number 6. Stay humble, champ, and get in line. Don't forget Benil Dariush is still sitting right in front of you." Talking to Islam, right?
Right.
And then Justin says, "I honestly don't even believe Team Khabib is really saying this. He has someone else running that ship for him."
Okay. Now, hey, stop, pause. Conor has made this accusation many, many times that Ali Abdelaziz is it's his team that works Khabib's
Twitter. Tony and Eddie chimed in on running the Twitter account. Tony Ferguson says, "Ali Abdelaziz runs his Twitter account. Fathead only runs his IG account. Ali uses Khabib's account to force feed what's on his own agenda." And then Eddie Alvarez tweeted, "Brother Ali, if you want to talk to me, you could call me anytime. You have my phone." Khabib says, "Justin, I'll stick with my opinion. You had a chance and you missed it, but I do agree the promotion is more interested in you at the moment. Still, you can't ignore 9-fight absolutely dominant win streak in UFC. Anyone who has 9 victories in a row deserves a title fight. Doesn't matter who it is, Islam or someone else. Ask any fighter in a roster and they will tell you 9-fight is enough for a title." Eddie Alvarez says, "Respect to Khabib, but giving Gaethje a shot over Makhachev is right. Islam fought 1 ranked opponent, let's say 9-0. Justin fought 4 champions and a legend to be 6-3. Only one road was more honest and true. I'd rather be 6-3. Khabib says, "Eddie, just imagine you are 7 years undefeated in the UFC and have 9-fight win streak. What would you do? Ask for a title fight or vote for Justin to fight for title? Who just lost inside 2 rounds a year ago? Not Islam." And then he responded to Tony, "For the last 3 years, Tony, you never won a single round in the UFC. Some of the rounds you lost 10-8. Since 2015, you won only 1 fighter from top 15, Tony. It's clear picture here. I'm not going to low and personal and insult you. It's just facts." Tony then says, Fathead, you've avoided me since 2015. You fake injuries and hide behind your team. After the bloody beating I gave your teammate for pissing me off, you want no part of me. You're just shook. No balls, all strikes. The fan deserves better from you, Habib. Islam then responds, it's not my fault that I did not fight with ranked opponent. Everybody declines to fight with me. And now I'm number 4. Facts. Name a single fighter from top 10 who wants to fight me. UFC has to overpay Hooker to take the fight. It's slowly turning into boxing. Woo! I'm sorry, but Islam had the best response of everybody.
Well, and that's a very matter of opinion. But I will say this. Number one, entertaining across the board.
Oh, right. Right. Everybody getting in.
Yeah. And I love the fact that Conor is not involved in this because
we're going to get into it. Well, he's not involved in that in particular. You're right.
And that's what I mean, because this particular situation, because Tony, Justin, Eddie, and you said somebody else, I think, they are all going to be inherently on one side of the fence. Mm-hmm. And then Khabib, Ali Abdelaziz, and whoever else, Islam, obviously, on the other side of the fence. But the beautiful thing is, it's always been about Conor.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
Whenever this stuff is going on, Conor's name is always inserted somewhere in there, so that it's easy for Justin to go, well, we're talking about Conor, blah, 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 whatever, so to save face with Khabib, in other words. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And obviously same thing for Tony, or I don't think Tony gives a shit, to be honest with you,
Tony
but
doesn't give
Justin does, because he's still in the thick of everything. He's got to remain relevant. And there's probably some level of being careful not to piss off the wrong person, because, or even your fans or their fans, because you're trying to get that title shot, right? And that's clearly what's happening here, is they're just jockeying it up to try to mount to see who gets on top. And boy, oh boy, this is getting interesting.
How about the fact that Ali is both managing Habib and Justin? Can we just talk about that?
We've talked about that before,
and that Ali is there on Twitter talking shit to Justin. Who's to say? There's a theory.
No, hang on a second. Hang on, you're missing it though, because we talked about this before, and when we talked about this, we said that this was going to happen. That this is a conflict. And that Justin, I mean, he's put all his cards in Ali Abdelaziz's hands. And as a matter of fact, I'm almost positive. I'm sure you could look into this. I'm almost positive that Justin was complaining about Ali Abdelaziz being both of their managers on Twitter.
Could have been. I don't remember that.
I could have swore. Go ahead, and I'm gonna look into this.
All right. So
hey, hang on. Keep going. I'll be right back.
Okay. Well, I don't want to get into the Twitter stuff, because that I definitely want to save for dirty. Actually, you know what? We can talk about Conor and Chael, though. I think this is the most recent one. Is Chael? I don't remember what show it was, but he had gotten on and talking pretty much about how Conor is just is turning into a rich weirdo. If you guys don't know, during Vegas 42, which we're going to be also getting into, there's been a lot of fucking fights we've missed, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry. During the Max Holloway fight, when Max Holloway was getting his intro, there was a video about Conor kind of pacing back and forth, doing a stare down with Max through the TV, right? Kind of almost doing some press work maybe for lining up a future fight with Max again, right? So he releases that video. Of course, it gets picked up by ESPN because he's the greatest fighter of all time. And after that, Chael, was pretty much commenting on that in particular by calling him, saying that he's pretty much turning into a rich weirdo. by doing that, and that, you know, it maybe if you're 22, that would be, you know, necessary or normal, but not as a father and husband, and, you know, whatever the case may be, because being a father and being a husband means that you lose some sort of competitiveness or trying to promote a fight. I don't know, whatever, Shell. But then they decided to go back and forth on Twitter, bringing up old videos of Conor and Shell talking about each other's shoes. Conor tweeting that Shell's shoes talk better than he does, and vice versa. Shell saying, you don't want to be on my radar, kid. There's still time enough for you to put that bottom shelf whiskey down, or whatever he calls it. It's a lot of tongue in cheek on Twitter, and that's pretty much where it ended. But Conor, I know we've gone through a lot of, you know, Twitter beef with Tony and Justin and Habib and, you know, whatnot. But Conor has been in the middle of it too when it comes to the Twitter thing. Not only that there with Shell, but he was also going back and forth with Jorge and Jan, which kind of brings us back to the whole Leon Edwards thing. And this is kind of how they started talking about it, right? So Conor, perfect timing for him to sit back down. So if you guys don't know, on November 11th, it was the anniversary of the UFC, right? And so during the anniversary of the UFC, Conor tweeted about, he said, it's crazy that November 12th is also the date UFC 1 took place, the very event in 1993. Some strange, beautiful energy in the air on this date for our sport. Inaugural UFC event, the inaugural New York City event, and the inaugural UFC champ crowned. What a day. Okay, that was his tweet. He says it's also Jorge Masvidal's birthday, but he a bitch for bottling the fight against Leon. Fuck your injury. You signed a fight, you fight. Strip that belt from him that he never won. Ho in a house coat. The fuck was that all? He said, the fuck was that about as well? Last season's Versace house coat. Ha ha ha. What the fuck? Then, Jorge then says, pipe down there, little guy. I'm in a good mood. So go annoy someone else before I put out the contract to get you hospitalized again. Conor says, oh yeah, okay, sweetheart. Stick the kettle on for me in your little house coat there. Me and Hans is having a meeting about your wage today. And then Jorge said nothing else, right? Because he wants to protect his wage. Yeah. So, now moving on, then Conor gets into it with Petr Yan. What the fuck, Conor? So this was tweeted. Oh my God,
man. What is happening with Conor?
So look, this was tweeted, best boxers in the UFC, and it's a picture that has Jose Aldo, Conor. Yeah. Okay, so Conor says, I outboxed 3 guys on this list. There's no one even remotely close to my boxing in the UFC. Facts.
Max Scott.
Dustin only got shots off post leg damage. Facts. Everyone has been pucked around by me if we're going off of boxing. Facts. Yeah, Jan is good though.
Okay, I'm going to start combating your facts word there in a minute.
That's fine. I'd like his style, but I'd rip him up in that shell though. That's what he says. Piotr says, Conor, we all know that you like to talk, but let's get straight to the point. If you really want to box or fight, I don't care about weight or rule set. I bet you won't show up. Conor says, no problem there, littler. We will set up a spar or something similar in the near future. We'll host you and your team in Ireland for one of our shows at the Crumlin Boxing Club. We'll figure it out, kid. God bless you. That's what he said, right? Piotr says, MAGA.
Very, very dismissive.
Right. He says, MAGA, we can play if you don't want to decide matters seriously. Just let me know if you will have enough gas for 12 rounds, kid. Salante. And then, that's it. That's what happened with them.
Conor. Hey, just as an update, what I was doing, I was going in the other room. I did find it. I'm a little concerned.
Oh yeah, please tell me. What happened?
Well, I listened to it. I was gonna play it and there, but anyway, essentially a reporter asked him about being managed by Ali Abdelaziz for Conor and Khabib, and basically, I'm sorry, Connor, Justin and Khabib.
Oh, got you. Okay.
And Justin said, well, he's here to get all of his fighters paid and in the best position possible to become a champion. And the guy asked him if he felt as though Ali was able to serve both him and Khabib at the same time. And he said, well, I don't talk to him about that stuff. But then he said, maybe I should. So
yeah,
there's that. And that was from, when was that from? Sorry, guys. I'm terribly sorry.
No, that's fine. I'll just say while you're looking at that up, Justin Gaethje has always been the type of guy that will never really tell you that there's a big problem unless it's really eating at him. And unless there's really, he won't really say anything. He's not really into drama. He's not into that shit. No, but if he feels like something's been eating at him, or if there is an issue, he'll say something, right? It won't even be to the level of disrespect. He'll just say something. So by him saying, maybe I should, that almost tells me that inside he's knowing that there's an issue.
Yeah.
Right?
When somebody says something like, maybe I should, obviously you've provoked a thought in that person.
Yeah. No shit.
It was 6 months ago. So,
okay.
In which happens to coincide right around his last fight. So
right.
I'm guessing that's what all this was about.
I want to keep an eye on the background and see if Justin Gaethje changes management.
That's what I'm driving at, because I can see this thing coming to a head at some point, and it is hard to serve two masters.
Yeah, no, seriously. And let's be honest, Ali has about 50% of the UFC roster, so he's managing a lot.
Well, 50% of the high end ones. Yeah.
You're right. Okay, so before we get into the last MMA topic, which is UFC Vegas 42, just want to talk about real quick. Izzy got his next fight. The fight announcement that just came out: Israel Adesanya versus Whitaker is being eyed for February, UFC 271. We will see. There hasn't been a place named yet or anything like that. I know they were trying to push it as far as they could to try and get it in Melbourne, or get it in an area where it's going to really
Australia's got some goofy stuff
going to pop, but
laws.
The restrictions are only getting a little bit more.
New Zealand and Australia are just
they're really locked down right now. So it's looking like they're probably just going to move forward with an American show, or it could be a Fight Island event. We don't know yet. We will see, but as soon as we get word on that, we will talk about it. Now, UFC Vegas 42 this last Saturday. Wow. How many classic fights can Max fucking Holloway have? How many classics can this man have?
He's a gangster, man.
How many fights in a row can this man have before we start talking about him being
he's a fucking gangster, a goat.
Of goats.
Right.
Jesus, man. It's been known for a long
I gotta keep it real. If Conor were to drop down to 145, I'm not sold that he wins that fight. I'm really not.
If Conor goes down to 145, he is going to have a very tough night against Max Holloway. If Max Holloway goes up to 155, Conor has a real shot. It's not going to be easy either way.
100%. It would have to happen. There's no way Conor McGregor's getting to 145 again.
No,
that's never going to happen.
It's not going to happen, especially with the way he looks now. He's trying to be more at like 170 now. So, I'm interested in that fight. It's a fight I think Conor could win again at 155, but
I think it would be a very interesting fight. Right now, as it sits right now, I would probably give the edge to Max.
Yeah. I mean, nobody else beats Max Holloway right now.
No,
honestly, nobody does.
Not too many, unless it were to be somebody to come down.
Yeah. And Yair being the straight up G that he is, I mean, we knew, again, another fight that is going to be amazing, and it fucking delivered. Right. Delivered. I mean, Max Holloway is just, we can just put up a highlight of Max talking in the octagon, not even fighting, just talking. I'm the best boxer, this other shit he said in the last fight. And then this fight, he said, let's bang, bro. Like, I mean, that
was fucking dope, man.
Incredible. Come on.
Okay. We're going to keep this thing moving here, because I know we're running really long here. and we're really sorry, guys. We're trying to get caught up here with you guys, but this week I am going to be skipping any NHL talk, and we're going to jump right into music, and that will be it. Yep. So we'll be good to go.
So music topics. Hey. I mean, I feel like we have to, before we get into the fun shit and everything going on, I feel like we have to talk about the Astro World tragedy and what happened with Travis Scott. And not only that, I mean, listen, that is probably going to be a separate video that I'm going to be making on the side for the channel, to be honest with you guys, because there is a lot of footage from the concert and a lot of very weird things that I felt very uncomfortable watching the footage, mainly with Travis Scott himself. I felt very uncomfortable. But let's just get into it real quick. Travis Scott, Drake, Live Nation.
Seems to me he could have done a lot more.
And he's been getting lit the fuck up on Twitter, rightfully so.
Rightfully so.
10 victims, 10 dead. The youngest being a 10-year-old or a 9-year-old boy. It's so sad. Listen, Travis Scott, Drake, Live Nation, Apple Music, they're being hit with a $750 million lawsuit from, the more than, 125 fans included in this tragic event. The filing, geez, man. I mean, this whole thing started so shaky. The sheriffs, the police were already telling them, hey, we're a little concerned with the crowd and how rowdy they are. If you guys know Travis Scott, you know how much he actually promotes the rowdiness and that stuff in his shows.
I did not know that.
He encourages.
That's disappointing.
He encourages it. There's been shows where he's encouraged them to jump the security guards. Like,
let me just say, I love Astro World. It's one of my favorite albums. I know it's it might not be for everybody, but I personally love that album. Yeah. It's so atmospheric.
It's an experience.
Yeah, it really is. It's an experience. Yeah. It's a great album.
Travis Scott, not taking anything away from his music ability, right? I mean, Travis Scott is one of those artists where you get a lot of different versions of Travis. When you hear his features, it's different. I'm not really into Travis features. I'm really not. But
that's fair. That's fair too.
When you get into albums, it's an experience. It's more of an art form for him. It's a lot deeper. And that's the Travis I tend to fuck with because he's a very creative mind. Again, I felt very uncomfortable watching a lot of the footage of him humming while they were carrying bodies out of there. And different things like that. So I'll be covering that.
I'll be honest with you, that kind of grossed me out.
Yeah, it had a very dark, ominous undertone to it. I was not feeling that at all. Okay. We'll step off of that. All of our best wishes and good vibes out to those families that are dealing with the loss, and also a lot of people that are injured from this event. Let's talk about some album drops. Dirty D, let's get into some album drops because we've had some weird albums. Not weird in the fact that it's weird music. It's great music. It's just it's up your alley. It's extremely short. So Big Sean and Hit Boy came out with a 6-track EP, What You Expect. 2 Chainz came out with the 6-track EP, Bride of Tony. And Lil Baby came out with the 6-track EP, Back on My Baby Jesus Shit Again. All 3 of these, again, are 6 tracks. Lil Baby being the smallest project I've ever heard. Honestly, if you have a spare 10 minutes, you can listen to the whole thing. Every song is about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes. It's only 6 songs. Some dope shit in there though. I love the beat selections. It was very quick. I listened to it twice, and it was still had time. It was like only 20 minutes after that, and I was like, oh my god. But it's good.
Hadn't even finished cutting the grass.
I'm not. Yeah, I went to go for a walk and it was done. And I'm like, what the fuck? I go and I'm like, okay, let me reset it. Cause I feel like
Wait, do you have grass in Albuquerque?
Places. Yeah. It's usually fake, but yeah. So listen, after Big Sean dropped his 6-track EP with Hit Boy, he let everyone know that was going to be that he's out of Kanye's label, Good Music. And that they're still really tight, no bad blood.
Oh, really? You don't say. I don't buy that.
Well, it's actually funny that you said that because he made, you know, saying, hey, look, just so you guys know, this is my last project with Kanye and Good Music. I have my own music label now. I'm just on my big boy shit now. There's no bad blood. 2 days later, Kanye said signing Big Sean was the biggest mistake of my career. Good old Kanye West letting the dirty laundry fly of good music.
You guys know, most of you know, I'm not a fan of Kanye.
Mm-hmm.
I like some of his music. I don't like Kanye outside of the studio at all.
Yeah.
Just not a fan.
I know. I agree with you here too. And I hate talking about it too. When you have two people like us, right, that don't like a very popular artist, we don't like staying on the subject too long. You know what I mean? Because we know we're not really in the general.
We're in the minority, and we get that. And I've always qualified that every time I've ever done a Kanye song or album, I've always qualified it by starting out with saying, I know I am deep in the minority on this. Okay. I get it from the get. I'm just letting you know right now, not a fan.
Yep. Yeah. Then, I mean, Stars, the network, made a huge fumble of 50 Cent's show, Black Mafia Family. If you guys remember last month, I was telling you that Eminem is going to be appearing on 50 Cent's 7th episode that he wrote and directed himself. He made it a big, huge thing. It got blown up. The anticipation for this episode was huge. Stars accidentally ghost released it a day before it was supposed to be released.
That happened with
everybody saw what Eminem looked like, what the 14-year-old Eminem looked like before people had to pay for it. So the screenshots started going wild on Twitter. Guess what? Not a lot of people showed up for the premiere then, Dirty, because everybody got what they came to look for. And 50 is pissed. If you know anything about 50 Cent, you do not want to fuck with him, especially when it comes to business. Stars, you're going to be looking at a gigantic lawsuit on your hands. 50 Cent is pissed after the fumble of Stars premiering Eminem's feature, completely ruining the actual anticipation for the episode. He went on Twitter rant after Twitter rant about how they're going to pay for this. They fumbled big.
They probably are. I mean, there is a tremendous amount of money that goes into stuff like that. And you just screwed him over, man.
50 profusely apologized. He said, at Eminem, I'm so sorry. I'd just like to thank you again for doing this for me, brother. I know that you did this for me because the network couldn't do this themselves. That's what he said on his Twitter. He said, I went out of my way to pull a favor for something the network could never do, and you fuck me. And that's what he said, basically. And he said, you know, at Eminem, I'm so sorry, but thank you for doing this for me and all that other shit. So we'll see what happens with that. But I feel bad. I mean, that was a big,
something. This is another one of the great many things I love about M is he's always making himself available to the people that help him and support him, and a very 100%. Loyal person. Yeah.
Before we get to the singles of the week, which is the last thing we're going to talk about, I know we got to wrap up. We're just going to talk real quick about Lil Wayne posting visuals on Twitter, or not on Twitter, excuse me, on YouTube for his older tracks. And I am fucking down for it. I am so down for it. More artists need to be doing this.
What's going on? I don't understand.
So Lil Wayne, over the past couple days, some tracks from like the Carter 4 or, you know, I'm Not a Human Being, you know, from older projects, he's releasing visuals. It's like cartoon visuals. It's not like, you know, him doing it, but it's a nice visual, but it's almost like a nice re-release and then something to watch. Listen, artists,
and everybody loves old Wayne, and
this is a way to not only boost your catalog, but get those streams bumping again for your older projects. Get yourself back up in there. More artists need to be doing this.
Not to mention, remind everybody who the fuck I am.
No shit, because I was just listening to those over and over and just like, my God, I remember this. Oh my God, I haven't heard this in years.
Those Carters, man. Oh my God.
Oh my God. Classics after classics after classics. So, I'm here for it, man. I hope he starts releasing more, and I want more artists to do this too. Release visuals of your older tracks because I'm here for it. I'm all here for it.
Wayne's a fucking genius.
He is a fucking genius. He is. Singles of the week, or I should say the past 3 weeks, we had Joyner Lucas killing us with a dope-ass track called Duck, Duck, Goose. If you have not heard Duck, Duck, Goose,
sounds fucking killer already.
Duck Duck Goose is so dope. It's classic Joyner. This is the Joyner that used to rap on other rappers' beats to show you what the fuck he can do. It's not the album Joyner that's been a little bit more creative, a little bit more artistic, which is fantastic, right?
Mm-hmm.
But just like Eminem, we love the smart, intricate M, but we love the tongue-in-cheek more than
funny
anything.
Yeah.
We love that sarcasm.
The M that makes us laugh.
Yes. This is the same thing for Joyner. We love that Joyner that be on his bullshit. That's the Joyner we got in Duck Duck Goose. So good. Joel Ortiz not only dropping a project, but a really dope single from that project called In My Feelings. Really dope track. If you guys don't know, Joel Ortiz is one of the mates of Slaughterhouse. Really dope artist and really great track. And then the last single I really want to highlight is from AK, the real AK. You guys know he released a track that was about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes long. It's called Fishy. I really urge you guys, after doing your research and really looking at everything that happened with the Astro World tragedy, and go back and listen to Fishy. That's what the song's about. AK is talking about that day and what happened.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's called Fishy. And I'll just leave it at that. You guys need to go check that out. AK Fishy. It's at the top of the singles of the week. Ladies and gentlemen, we compacted 3 weeks within about an hour to an hour and a half's time. Pat on our back. We're fucking boss. We're bosses. And I just want to remind everybody, if you haven't already, hit the motherfucking like button.
Hit the fucking thing. What are you doing?
Subscribe if you are new to the channel, and hit us up down below with some top 10s you want to hear. You know, we're going to be getting into December soon before you know it. So I know Dirty and I.
Yeah, you guys, we're rolling up on the holidays here. Hit the subscribe button because we're very festive people. So, and you know, we take that stuff seriously. He's got kids, I got kids, and we just we have a lot of fun. So
yeah,
join us, man.
Join us.
It's real stuff. There's no bullshit pretending and pretense and all of that bullshit, man. We just talk about everything and anything and have fun with it.
Give you our fucking thoughts. And we want to hear your thoughts as well. So comment down below and let us know what you guys are thinking about the topics we talked about as well. Let us know of any side videos you want us to make or any other content you want us to explore. Thank you guys so much as always.
Look for a top 10 coming soon here. Hopefully within the next couple weeks here, we'll get one up there. DZAN's we're always working on stuff on the side. So I'm sure he's going to be continuing on with the Aftermath and he's got little projects. I've got some projects I'm working on. So yeah, a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline, guys. So don't forget to hit the notification bell on top of the subscribe.
That way you guys know as soon as we come up. Thank you guys so much for tuning in.
I'm going to come up with a notification bell. I have a great idea.
Oh my God. Okay.
Next week.
Okay.
I got a notification bell.
Ladies and gentlemen, we love your faces. We'll see you next week. Peace.